So this is Suraj. Today we talking about let's get the topic purpose of appsettings.json in .NET Core. Purpose of appsettings.json in .NET Core. Okay, so let's begin. We take a very simply and practical. So let's take first topic. So what is appsettings.json? So appsettings.json is a configuration file used to store application setting. So basically, appsettings.json is a setting file which is to basically appsettings.json is a configuration file used to store application setting. Okay. Instead of hard coding value in code, we store them into file. Instead of hard coding value in code, we store and we store them in the file. Okay, so let's take some example value. So first is database connection string. Let's say second is API key. And third is login configuration. And fourth, let's take third-party security URL. URLs and custom application setting. Okay, so let's talk about second. Why do you need it? So hard coding configuration like this is bad. Hard coding configuration like this is this is bad. Let's take example string, connection string is equal to server is equal to dot database is equal to testdb user ID is equal to SA and password is equal to 1. Okay, so this is a bad idea. So what the problem cause? This is not secure. And second is hard to maintain. And third is difficult to change in production. Change in production. Okay. Instant, we use appsettings.json. Okay. Let's take some basic example of appsettings.json. Okay. Let's take an example of appsettings.json. So let's take configuration. So let's take some. This is just like a JSON type. So the connection string, value key, value string, key string, and then value string. Instead key string, we define default. Okay, key string and value string. Value we pass server is equal to dot database is equal to testdb user id is equal to sa and the password is equal to s1. Let's take one. First key, first value, and we can add another configuration, something called logging. Logging key string. They have some logging level. The next value called default. Default some value called information. And then they have just closed the bracket. This value, and we pass another values called my setting. My setting key string, then value of object, app name, demo app, another value, version. Called 1.0. Okay, just close object and then close main string. Okay, so this is a basic type of configuration we added. So what the benefit? This keeps configuration clean and centralized. Okay, so let's take a fourth topic, which is how to read value in .NET Core. Value in .NET Core. Okay, so we use using I configuration. We have used it I configuration. Let's take some example. Public class, home controller. It is inherit for controller. Okay. Inside some code, private object. Leave it on the I configuration. Configuration. Okay. Inside the constructor, they ask I configuration. Configuration, and we can just assign the value equal to configuration. Just close it, and after we can use just create a method jet index. Okay, inside index we can use it where app name is equal to configuration configuration of my setting of app name. Okay, they give you the app name of your properties and you can return the value. Okay, method close and the controller class close. This is just a basic example of I configuration by using. Okay. Okay. So let's take for connection string we do. Use var connection string equal to underscore configuration dot get connection string, and we pass default connection string. Default connection. Okay, they return it. Okay, so let's take topic 5. environment specific configuration. Okay, so .NET Core support application development.json. Hello.
हाँ सर बोले एक फाइल है ना लाइन में से इस पे थोड़ा सा निकालने हैं थोड़ी
पब्लिक आईपी क्या है?
नेम एक्सेल में
पब्लिक आईपी 103 से शुरू था ना?
हाँ
ये सिस्टम स्टार्ट है?
आपका सिस्टम है
103.150.138.169. एक बार ट्राई करिए तो मेरा सिस्टम देखे तो चल रहा है.
लॉक है
आईपी तो वही था. पीसी पे ब्लॉक है. फाइल का नाम क्या बताया था?
क्या फाइल का नाम लास्ट एक्सेल अभी भी डाला है मैंने क्या नाम था एनालिटिक्स करने को स्टोर
पेंडिंग B2B एक्सेल है.
नहीं एनालिटिक्स करना था
फ्रॉम वेबसाइट में डाल दिए क्या?
नहीं
ये तो पेंडिंग डॉट टेक्स्ट एक बार फिर से देखिए.
पुराना होगा तब डेट पुराना है लेकिन हम आज भी डाल रहे हैं
अच्छा तो पीछे चला जाएगा. B2 प्रॉब्लम एज डिस्कस. एक काम करें. हाँ कंबाइन रिपोर्ट एनालिसिस डाल दिए. डाल दिए. Okay, let's continue with this is related. Environment configuration. This is appsetting. .NET Core support appsetting .development.json, and they also support appsetting dot production dot json and appsetting dot staging dot json. This allow different setting for different environment. For okay, example. We take development to local DB and production and cloud DB. Okay, this is very powerful feature. Okay, so let's talk about some strong type configuration. Strong type configuration. Strong type configuration, they have best practices to use. Okay, so instead of reading value directly, can bind a class. Okay, let's take example. Let's take a class of my setting of properties public string my app name. They have get properties and set properties. Another property property and set property. Okay, so we use strongly typed configuration. So if one place work, we can just use the class. So register in program.cs. We can just register this in program.cs. Okay, so we can just use builder.service for configuration and setting. Pass the class name and get property from builder.configuration. Of my setting. This is provided strongly typed. After that, don't worry about accessing the connection string name. Now we just inject I option using I option. Okay, cleaner and safer approach. This is cleaner and safer approach. Okay, so let's just take some security notes. So never store plain password, security key, secret key in appsettings.json for production. Okay, we just generally use Azure Key Vault. And also use environment variable and secret manager. Okay, so let's take a brief definition about this. So appsetting.json is a configuration file. Appsetting.json is a configuration file. In .NET. used to store application setting like like a connection string, logging configuration, and custom setting. Okay, and also we can store allow centralized. They have just allow centralized and environment specific configuration manager. Okay, so let's take some final advice. Always avoid hard coding. Use environment based configuration. Use strongly typed settings. Okay, this is a professional way in .NET practice. .NET practice. This is about me. Thank you. Okay, so let's revise it again. So the topic is purpose of appsettings.json in .NET Core. So let's talk about what is appsettings.json. So appsettings.json is configuration file used to store application setting. Instead of hard coding value in .NET in code, we store them in file. Example: database connection string, API key, login configuration, third-party security service URL, custom application setting. So why we need it? So hard coding configuration like this is bad. Like string connection string is equal to server database inside the connection string we put. Their problem is they are not secure and hard to maintain and difficult to change in production. So instead of we use appsetting.json, example of appsetting.json, we use key value pair like key string, connection string with value, default connection, server database, none. And we also put another if logging object, logging level, default information, and also put my setting, app name, version. This keep configuration cleaner and centralized. So how we to read value in .NET Core? We generally use I configuration. So public class home controller we use private read only I configuration and public home controller I configuration type configuration. Constructor they provide you configuration, we put it. Then we use app setting I application the configuration of array of my setting dot app name. They return the value. For connection string we use var underscore configuration get connection string default connection. So we also use environment specific configuration like .NET Core support appset application.development.json, appsetting.production.json, appsetting.service staging.json. This allow different setting for different environment. Let's take example. In development, we use local DB. In production, we use cloud DB. This is a very powerful feature. A strong type configuration, we use best practice. Instead of reading value directly, we can bind a class. Example, public class, my setting. Public setting, my app name, get set. Public string has version, that gets it. So register in program.cs. We use builder service configuration, my setting, class name, and builder.configuration get section of my setting. Now inject using I option. They have cleaner and safer approach. Let's take some security note. Never store plain password secret key in appsettings.json for production. Use Azure Key Vault, environment variable, secret manager. Let's take definition. Appsettings.json is configuration file in .NET Core using store appsettings.json like connection string. Login configuration and custom setting allow centralized and environment-specific configuration management. Let's take final advice. Always avoid hard coding. Use environment-based configuration. Use strongly typed settings. This is a practice professional way in .NET Core practice. That is about. Thank you.